Amanda and I have been married for 8 years now. Our relationship has been steady, warm, and relatively ordinary. We've raised 2 children together, and despite the occasional ups and downs, I always believed the foundation of our marriage was solid. That is, until last Saturday when everything changed. We were invited to a party hosted by one of Amanda's friends, Celeste. I didn't know Celeste well, but Amanda seemed genuinely excited about it. "It'll be fun," she assured me. "The kids are staying at my mom's for the weekend, so I don't have an excuse not to go." Amanda kept going. "Come on, everyone will be there. It'll be nice to do something different for once in a while." I agreed, though I wish I had paid closer attention to the vague, unsettling tone of her words. When we arrived at Celeste's house, the scene was like any other party, filled with laughter, dancing, and loud music. The air was thick with excitement, drinks were flowing, and everyone seemed to be having a good time. However, as the night progressed, I began to notice small but strange details that didn't sit right with me. People were gazing at each other differently, touching one another in a way that felt almost too open and intimate. At one point, a man I didn't know flashed Amanda an overly familiar smile. To my surprise, she smiled back, almost flirtatiously. Trying to shake off the discomfort, Amanda nudged me and suggested, "Come on, let's go get a drink." She handed me a cocktail, stronger than I had anticipated. I sipped it slowly, trying to blend in and ignore the odd tension in the air. Then the announcement came over the loudspeaker. "All right, everyone, listen up." Joe, Celeste's husband, boomed. "It's time for the raffle." The crowd cheered enthusiastically. "Everyone's wives, throw your keys in the bowl. Then, each husband will draw a key at random, and you'll spend the night with the woman whose key you've drawn. No strings attached." Excited murmurs rippled through the room, and it suddenly hit me. This wasn't just any party. This was a swingers' gathering. My heart skipped a beat, and I felt a wave of anger and betrayal wash over me. I turned to Amanda, my face reddening with rage. "Did you know about this?" I demanded. She met my gaze with no trace of guilt, her smile barely curving at the corners of her mouth. "Yes," she said matter-of-factly. "I knew you'd freak out if I told you. Just one night, Liam. Everyone's doing it. It's no big deal. It's good for relationships." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "No big deal," I repeated, my voice shaky with disbelief. "You really think I'm okay with you sleeping with someone else? Worse, you want me to be okay with this?" She shrugged, looking almost nonchalant. "It's just for tonight. Think about it, Liam. It'll be fun, something new for us." "You're overreacting." "Overreacting." My voice was growing louder. "This isn't about fun, Amanda. This is about my marriage. This is not something I'll ever accept. Not with you, not with anyone." Amanda, her arms crossed defensively, exhaled impatiently. "Look, I'm tired of feeling invisible, like nothing more than a wife and mother. Sometimes I just need to feel desired again. This isn't about love, it's just about the excitement. For one night, Liam. Just one night." Her words pierced me like a knife. "So, you think that's the answer?" I asked incredulously. "You need someone else to make you feel wanted." "I thought that was my job." She turned her head away, her voice soft but firm. "It's not like that. It's just an adventure just for tonight. It'll be good for us." I was at a loss for words. How had we gotten here? How could this be her solution to our marriage? My thoughts were spinning. "We're leaving," I said, my voice trembling with fury. "Get your purse, let's go." I dragged her toward the living room, the anger burning in my chest. Everyone stood around the bowl, eagerly eyeing the keys. "Wait a minute," I shouted, cutting through the noise of the crowd. My voice shook with the intensity of my emotions. No one told me what kind of party this was. I raised our house key for everyone to see. "I will not share my wife with anyone. This is sacred. My marriage is sacred." There was a murmur from the crowd, some whispers of disbelief, but I didn't care. I turned to Amanda, who was pale with shame. My heart was heavy with hurt. You need to make a choice right now, I said, my voice cold and firm. You can come with me and we'll leave all of this behind, or you can stay here. But if you stay, don't ever come home. The room fell silent, all eyes on Amanda. After what felt like an eternity, she sighed, her voice filled with frustration. I'm sorry about my husband's behavior, she said, addressing the crowd. I'd love to stay, but I think it's better if I go. Reluctantly, she followed me out the door and into the car. As soon as we were inside, she turned on me. You're unbelievable, she hissed, her voice trembling with anger. How could you embarrass me like that in front of everyone? You've ruined any chance we had of being invited back. And how did you embarrass me tonight? I shot back, my voice rising. By planning to sleep with another man. How long has this been going on in your head, Amanda? Her eyes flashed with frustration. It was just once, Liam. One night out of all the years we've spent together. Is that really too much to ask? I gripped the steering wheel, the anger making my knuckles white. You don't get it, do you? This is not just one night. It's a betrayal. And I'm not a part of it. As I pulled onto the road, the words that had been swirling in my mind finally erupted. If it means that much to you, then fine, I said suddenly, swerving the car sharply. Go ahead. You're free to do whatever you want. Amanda's face went pale with panic. What are you talking about? I'm talking about you going back to them, I said, my voice hard and cold. You can sleep with someone else since that's what you want. Go ahead, enjoy your adventure. She screamed in shock, her hands clutching the seat as I floored the gas pedal. What are you doing, Liam? I'm giving you a chance to get what you want, I said bitterly, the car screeching as I accelerated. Go on, Amanda. It's not like it's anything new to you. You've already made up your mind. Her face twisted with fear and confusion, but I could feel her retreating from me, retreating from everything that had once been our life. I retorted sharply, my voice trembling with a mix of anger and disbelief. I've always been faithful to you, Amanda. I'm not about to change that now. If you insist on doing this, then it's over between us. She hesitated for a moment, her fingers lingering on the car door handle. Her gaze softened, almost pleading. Can you come pick me up in the morning? She asked, a hint of hope in her voice, as though she still expected everything to go back to normal. I locked eyes with her, my resolve unwavering. I'm sure whoever you end up with tonight will be happy to take you wherever you want to go. Her face darkened, and her voice became sharp. That's disgusting, Liam. It's not like that. I could feel the rage bubbling inside me, my hands gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles turned white. It is like that, Amanda. You're about to spend the night with a stranger. She let out a deep sigh and turned away, her words cold and dismissive. It's just one night. It's no big deal. Even one night is too much, I said firmly. If you go through with this, we're finished. She didn't seem to grasp the gravity of the situation. Liam, you're making a big deal out of nothing. I'll be back in the morning, and you'll forget all about this. No, Amanda, I said, my voice hard as steel. If you walk back into that house, it's over. I'll never want you again. For a moment she was quiet, as if considering my words. Then, with a resigned sigh, she opened the door and stepped out. See you in the morning, Liam, she said, her voice laced with defiance. No, you won't, I whispered, almost too quietly for her to hear, and then I drove away. I could see her standing in the driveway, watching me leave. Her face a mix of confusion and frustration. A small part of me hoped she would realize her mistake, would call me and admit she was wrong, but that call never came. The tears burned in my eyes as I drove home, the weight of the night's betrayal crushing me. Amanda had chosen a stranger over our marriage, and I knew nothing would ever be the same. At home I packed a duffel bag in a daze. My heart was broken, my mind clouded by a haze of anger and hurt. As I zipped up the bag, my phone rang. It was Amanda. I hesitated before picking it up, the voice on the other end sending a chill through my spine. I just wanted to let you know, she said, her voice strangely casual. I've been matched with someone. His name's Ben. We're going upstairs now. Felt like a punch to my gut. Could barely breathe. Amanda, is that what you're telling me? Calm down, she said, dismissing my anger with a coldness I hadn't expected. Tomorrow will be different, Liam. You'll see how this will change our relationship. I couldn't contain my fury. Without thinking, I threw the phone onto the table, the sound echoing in the room. She didn't even realize the damage she had caused, how deeply she had just wounded me. I stared at the phone, my hands trembling. Her voice, low and intimate, suddenly filled the silence. God, this feels so good, she murmured, and I could hear the change in her voice as she became more excited. Harder. Harder. I wanted to throw the phone across the room, but then an idea struck me. I pressed the record button, the reality of what she was doing hitting me like a tidal wave. I needed proof, something concrete. Even if she knew I could hear her, it didn't matter anymore. I felt betrayed beyond repair. I stood up and walked to the shelf where our wedding photos were displayed, each one a reminder of the life we once shared. I took them out of their frames and threw them aside. Then I grabbed our wedding certificate from the wall and, with trembling hands, tore it in half, watching the pieces fall to the floor. The act felt final, like I was destroying everything we had built together. I couldn't stand the sight of this house anymore. Everything here reminded me of the love I thought we had, the family I thought we were. I packed what little I could into the car, the anger still simmering within me. I drove to a hotel, needing to be alone, to escape for a few days and sort through the wreckage of my life. But deep down, I knew I could never forget what she had done. That night would haunt me forever. I couldn't sleep. My mind was a storm of thoughts, emotions too raw to process. I picked up the phone again and dialed my friend Josh. He met me at a bar near my hotel, and I poured my heart out to him. He listened, wide-eyed and sympathetic, but his words were straightforward. "You don't have to put up with this, man," he said, placing a hand on my shoulder. "My cousin is a lawyer. I'll put you in touch with him. We'll protect your assets, make sure you don't lose everything. She won't get half of what you've worked for." I felt a pang of guilt. "What about the kids?" I asked, my voice tight with fear. "I don't want to lose them." Josh nodded thoughtfully. "It's hard, but we might be able to use the recording. If it proves she's at fault, it could work in your favor in court." After a few more drinks, we hashed out the details, and I returned to my hotel room. My mind was still racing, my emotions too tangled to find any peace. The next morning, Amanda called again. Her voice sounded desperate, and I knew I couldn't avoid this confrontation forever. I picked up the phone, my tone flat as I asked, "What do you want, Amanda?" She sighed, her voice shaky with emotion. "What do you think I want, Liam? I want my husband back." I took a deep breath, trying to steady myself. "What you did last night was unforgivable," I said, my voice cold as ice. "Don't say it was just a one-night stand. You crossed a line, Amanda." She pleaded, her voice breaking. "Please, Liam, don't say that. I only slept with him 4 times. And this morning I need this. You just don't understand." I forced myself to stay calm, though every word she said felt like a knife. "Amanda, you've broken something that can never be repaired. I love you, but you've only thought about yourself this whole time. You never thought about me, about our children." I took a deep breath, summoning the strength to say the words that would change everything. "I filed for divorce. You'll hear from my lawyer next week." She started to cry, her voice pleading. "I didn't mean to hurt you, Liam. I didn't care about Ben. I just needed to feel needed again. I thought it would bring us closer." My heart shattered at her words, but I knew deep down there was nothing left to salvage. "You made your choice, Amanda." The divorce proceedings took 6 long months. In the end, the court awarded Amanda custody of the children and the house. I was only allowed to see them on weekends. It was hard to accept, but I knew I couldn't go back to her. And, in the end, I didn't want to. I threw myself into my work, focusing on building a new life. Slowly, the pain of losing my children started to fade, though it would always be a scar on my heart. I cherished every moment I spent with them. Though I had lost much, I realized I hadn't lost everything. I still had the love of my children, and I had the ability to start over. And in the end, that gave me the peace I so desperately needed.